Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. In the last few weeks, there have been a number of different topics that we have discussed or we could discuss. Topics that no doubt are affecting the Muslim world on a number of important levels. What's happening in Iran, the Qatar World Cup, Balenciaga, and many other issues. But this Sunday, I come to you with a topic that I really never expected to discuss. And that is when a Muslim visits one of the houses of God and gets abused online because of it. Amir Khan, as you all know, is one of the most famous boxers to have come out of the UK, and a person who has been proud to represent not only the British community, but also the Muslim community. A person who's been charitable, philanthropic, who's always given time to people on many different levels. He's looked to people within his own sport, but he's also helped people in his own community. And he speaks about this recently in the overlap with Gary Neville. But he's visited recently Karbala and Najaf, two of the holiest sites in Islamic history. Now we know the Muslim world has many holy sites, without a doubt. Mecca and Medina are the most revered sites in the religion of Islam. Mecca, Medina, one may go to, for example, other parts of the Muslim world such as Egypt and indeed parts of Turkey, and you'll see that many of the most important figures in Islamic history are buried there. Some travel to Syria, others have gone to Jordan, others go towards Jerusalem, and they'll see that a number of the prophets of God may have their graves within mosques. People go there and they pay their respects. Amir Khan has done exactly that with the family of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. In Najaf, you have the shrine of the son-in-law of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family, Imam Ali alayhi salam. And in Karbala, you have the shrine, of course, of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, the grandson of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him and his family. Now, I know very well that Muslims around the world revere these two figures. Every single Muslim in the world claims that they love Imam Ali and that they love Imam al-Hussein alayhim as-salam. When they say they love Imam Ali, either they may love him with a Shia theological viewpoint that he is the first Imam and the first successor, rightfully, to the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him and his family, or they may see him as the fourth caliph. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, there is hardly any disagreement about him in Islamic history. All Muslims revere Imam al-Hassan and Imam al-Hussein alayhim as-salam. So when Amir Khan and his wife Faryal decide to go on this journey to Karbala and Najaf, instead of them posting videos where people comment by saying, may God accept your deeds, may God accept your prayers, please don't forget us in your prayers, I am in disbelief at the amount of hate and abuse that they've received for visiting these shrines. And I don't want to generalize and say that every non-Shia is the one who accepts this belief, and nor do I want to say that every non-Shia is the one who has sent abuse. But if you were to look at some of the comments that have been left on Amir Khan's Instagram and on Faryal Makhdoom's Instagram, his wife, you'll see that some of these comments are quite unbelievable. In a world where many Muslims will always say to you that we need Shia-Sunni unity, we should all come together, we should put our differences aside, I really don't understand how we're going to put differences aside when we have comments where certain basic principles of the beliefs of the Shia school are seen as being not even part of our history. I speak on behalf, of course, here of the Shia. And it brings me back to the point when Jordan Peterson recently said that maybe there should be pen pals between Sunnis and Shia, and that they should actually start talking to each other. Many Muslims mocked him because of that, but maybe Jordan Peterson had a point. Because when you look at some of these messages, you'll also be led to a state of disbelief. If I look at some of these messages, you'll see. Let me look at some of them. Here's a message which is from 17 hours ago, a couple of days ago. You'll see that it says, by the way, there are huge differences between Sunni and Shia. Shia do not believe in the kalima. They don't believe in 5 times of prayer a day. They don't believe in the Holy Quran being the final revelation to mankind. They whip, slap themselves and mix men and women together in congregation and masjid, which is wrong, and there's more that I can go on with. So let's just educate ourselves a little what Shia are and what they believe in. This is something which is unusual and quite mystifying in the year 2022. If this was said, for example, even 100 years ago, even 300 years ago, 500 years ago, I'd say, okay. But when somebody in 2022 still believes that the Shia don't believe in the kalima of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and that we don't believe in praying 5 times a day, and that we don't believe the Holy Quran being the final revelation of God, then this is something which I'm sure many can come to our literature and see what our exact beliefs on them are. I can certainly tell you that I read the same Quran as you do, in many cases published very near to the shrines of Mecca and Medina. I do pray 5 times a day, and I certainly believe in the kalima. Let's go to another message over here, which is Shias are not Muslims. They marry their siblings and beat themselves up. Yeah, that's quite bad for someone in 2022 to actually believe that we marry our siblings. In terms of beating ourselves up, reality is that yes, if you do Google Shia, you will see that there are Shia who are involved in certain rituals when it comes to the months of Muharram and Safar. And the Shia are the ones who have their basis for this particular practice. You want to discuss this, you want to reject it. There's no need for you to bring this up to Amir Khan, because the last time I checked with Amir was no theologian. But at the same time, the last time I checked with Amir, he's a man who reveres the family of the Prophet. And that is something which is not only for the Shia. In the Sunni world, there are many, if not all, who admire the Holy Prophet's family. Yes, we may differ in terms of some of our beliefs theologically, but why should a person and his wife receive abuse simply because of this? Then of course you've got the classic, it's not permissible to undertake journeys to visit the graves of the prophets. Last time I checked, people undertake journeys to go to Medina to visit the Holy Prophet, peace be upon his family. Not only that, they also pay their respect to Abu Bakr and Umar, who are of course known in Islamic history as the first and second Khalifa. What would you say about those people who go there? You might turn around to me and say, well, they don't do the shirk things that Shia do. Don't generalize the whole Shia community. And if you don't believe in the shirk things that the Shia do, according to your opinion, I'm sure Amir Khan will know that he doesn't need to do those things as well. Then you see, for example, another of the messages. You'll see, for example, messages where literally it comes here, when it comes to Islamic creed, us Muslims do care. Shirk is unforgivable, brings you out of the fold of Islam. Maybe if you start reading the Quran and stop tomb worshippers and listening to peers and saints, you know better. Again, you see this major attack on Amir and on Faryal. And the reality is that these attacks just go on and on and on. And it brings about even more friction over here. The sad thing is, someone says to Amir, Amir Khan, you are one mushrik. And Allah never liked that you learned everything. So sad you never learned what you are a Muslim. If you look over here, you'll see that people are trying to lower the status of Amir, attack him and personally insult him. And that's why he had to come out with this particular message. The reality is that I know Amir on a personal level, and I do not like to see a friend of mine be attacked or insulted in this way. If you have a difference of opinion with Amir, or indeed with his wife, or with his family, don't attack him in this personal way and make him feel like he's left the fold of the religion of Islam. You may come to me, you may differ with my opinions in some of my lectures. And reality is that yes, we do have certain theological opinions and historical opinions that are different. And the reality as well is yes, that if you believe that I've overstepped the mark in some of my lectures, then on the first level, I may have to reflect on my rhetoric. But at the same time, there is a certain group of people who you can speak to amongst the educated class on these issues. When I see someone like Amir being attacked in this way, I believe it's only rightful that we stand up for him. Not because he's Sunni or he's Shia or he wants to convert or doesn't want to convert, but simply because here's a person who's come to visit the household of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family. All I can say to you is, try one day to come to Najaf and Karbala. Maybe some of the misconceptions that you have may be alleviated. You might have a change of mind. I've been proud to visit the shrine of Imam al-Hussein in Cairo and the shrine of Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam and Abdullah Shah Qadi in Karachi, as well as shrines of companions of the Prophet, peace be upon his family, in places like Turkey or indeed places like Syria, as well as Medina, as well as Mecca. I have no problem whatsoever in agreeing with some parts of history and differing with others. But what I don't like is when we can go on Instagram and attack somebody and do takfir of him in some cases and insult a whole group of people. Inshallah, we can move forward from this. My du'as are with all of you. And inshallah, we as a Muslim ummah can agree to disagree on certain parts of history without resorting to violence and without resorting to abuse. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.